that you can play these Steam games on.
Yeah.
It's not just the Steam Deck. Steam Deck is still a little expensive, I think, to take that slot, but it's, think about this. Steam Deck is $600, right? That's pretty expensive for a console. But oh fuck, I had a whole last point and it just fled me.
You're saying that it, like, because it integrates with Steam, or are you talking about, like, the more, like, the other versions? Like, I think there's one of the other computer companies made their own little handheld thing.
Well, I was just gonna say $600. Let's say that's the baseline to get into it. Well, to get a computer that would play anything,
Oh, like, yeah.
it's $1,200.
Yeah,
It's
like,
double that.
Because you were able to play Cyberpunk on that thing.
Yeah,
You
there's
needed a beast to play Cyberpunk.
yeah, especially looking the way it looks on the Steam Deck. You need a decent computer. You need a $1,200 computer. So the price of being able to keep up with most Steam games has fallen in half, while the price of console gaming has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
That's just, I think it's a dying industry. And we're racing towards the time when there will no longer be different separate consoles. There will be maybe separate ways of playing these games, and I think it's going to be cloud integrated. Some of them are, so some of them will probably, like, I'm shocked that Steam hasn't done like full cloud gaming yet, where it's like you don't own the game, you're just paying a fee and you play the game on another computer and it's transmitted to your device.
Like, I think they had tried to do that, but some went funny with it.
They did, yeah. I'm trying to, Stadia. Yeah. It was called Google Stadia, and the technology worked, presuming good internet. Yeah. Which is the problem in America.
People just don't have enough of that to make it work.
It's just not as, but you know, that's not going to be a forever problem. Looking at getting a Steam Deck myself because I'm coming over to the States in the winter. I'm telling you, man, like I'm usually not a big like evangelist for technology or whatever, but those Steam Decks are wild. They're absolutely wild. I still kind of, I think, prefer playing on my computer.
But you also have to have a beast of a computer to get the same level.
Well, to play, play the games at the level that I'm, like, with the graphics that I'm playing them at, you need to have a pretty monster computer. And I like that. But being a dude that isn't as graphically, I really don't care as much about the graphics, that Steam Deck is wild. It's just a wild device.
You're just a creature of habit with playing on your PC more.
I think so, yeah. I think that's about what it is.
I think, you were using the Steam Deck a lot more when you were feeling shittier and you just didn't want to get out of bed.
True. I mean, it's good for that, right? It's can time when Cricket says. You don't get to influence can time if it comes at all. chair seat.
We got more of them in the garage if you want.
No, I know. I don't know what happened to this one, but it's fine. It's not falling apart or nothing.
Yeah, it's angled weird.
It's just weird. It's just a weird spot.
Just gotta watch your shoulder on the corner.
Yep. Yeah, I just don't see there being another 2 generations of Xbox, PlayStation, and Wii.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll consolidate it all?
Probably not. Maybe like Microsoft. Probably not on paper, but in terms of like just turning into game studios, Sony and Microsoft will probably focus a lot more on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Microsoft has been fucking eating up game studios left and right the past few years.
Yeah. And buy GTA 6 when it comes out, probably. I mean, eventually, maybe.
It's gonna have to be a PC game for you though, because we're not getting a whole new Xbox just for GTA.
Nope. For me, it's not even a money thing. It's not like you and I spend wild amounts of money. So it's like if I wanted to get us a PlayStation 2, we could afford it. I just don't want one.
Yeah, we just don't like sitting by the TV playing as much.
I don't want it. I don't want an Xbox. I can think of maybe 3 games that I would get if I got one of these consoles, and 2 of them are available on the PC already. It's like, I know GTA, so I'll probably wait, honestly. I will probably, like, at GTA 6 release, because it was the same way for GTA 5. It was PlayStation exclusive at the start, and then it took about a year for them to port it to PC.
But the advantage of waiting is, like, they might have the online component ramped up by then.
Well, that and it's like a year of heavy bug squashing and shit. This is going to be a ginormous game. And even though Rockstar is known as one of the most polished studios, it's going to release with some crazy shit.
Yeah, because they just can't account for every little thing when there's
server load and 10,000 people playing at the same time. It's going to be crazy. So all of that will probably be worked out, patched out, and they'll be working on optimizing. One of the things is like these console only releases. It's like now more than ever, you're selling people a complete downgrade in how the game looks and possibly how the game plays in favor of early release on a console. That's basically how I look at consoles. It's like, do I want to play GTA 6 so bad that I'll buy it and play it at half of what I could play it at?
Yeah, because I mean, consoles just aren't going to match the
They're just not.
frame rate and shit.
No, they're just not. There's not a console in the world that can do what my computer does. So, what's the point of me having a console again? You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are starting to like feel that way about it.
I'd say Sony's biggest missed opportunity though was not sticking with the PSP. Because they were, ahead of the game on the handhelds.
Yeah, the PSP was actually a really, really cool little device, but it was just a generation and a half too early. People weren't ready for that kind of handheld thing yet. It just, like, it had already, like, they weren't ready to trust somebody that wasn't Nintendo with it. And now I think they are. Now I think that people are looking at handhelds differently. The PS Vita, yeah. So the PlayStation Plus and the PlayStation Vita. I was that close to getting a PS Vita. I ended up getting a Nintendo. What was that other one? It's not the Switch.
No, the DS.
No.
3D.
No, the big one, the big white one that has the handheld thing.
Oh, the Wii U.
Wii U.
Yeah.
So it was between me getting a PS Vita and getting a Wii U because I really wanted to play Monster Hunter, which at that time you had to have a Wii U to play it. Was no computer Monster Hunters or anything. It was all Nintendo. So I wanted to play Monster Hunter 3, and then I wanted to play Persona 4 Golden, or Persona 4 Royal, whatever it was, or Persona 3. I can't remember. Whichever one of the Persona games was out on the Vita in a like a, what you call it, definitive edition kind of. But I've never been this dude that has to play the, like, they just don't get me with the release day shenanigans. They just don't. Like, I will buy a game on release day if I'm jazzed about it, but I don't get all fucking, like, there's no way. They don't got guaranteed release day purchases on me. Ever.
Yeah, I think the last time we did that was Hogwarts Legacy, but that was mainly for me.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of for me, too. I played it quite a bit.
Yeah. You just didn't jive with it quite as much as I did. You
No,
got too sucked into the find every little thing.
Yeah, I
get
was
frustrated
doing
with
too
it.
many side quests. GTA is the only game I will get on release day. I respect that. You know, like, right now, Rockstar Games is probably, like, the only studio left standing that I think I would ever bestow that kind of an honor on. Like, just the... Used to be 4 or 5, right? Blizzard used to be one of those. I was a guy that for years and years, I was like, you know, if you talk to me about this topic, I'd be like, Blizzard is top tier. Blizzard does not fuck around. Blizzard, you know, you can bet on the game being good. Now I won't even touch a Blizzard game, bro. It's gone so far the other way that it's not even like, now I usually just am not interested in even playing a Blizzard game. So that brony waiting in line for Diablo 3 really ruined it for you. I mean, that was part of it. Diablo 3 was a big part of it. That game was hard to swallow. BioWare, Bungie, Bethesda. Yep. All the Bs. Blizzard, BioWare, Bungie, Bethesda. And I don't think any of those game companies carry a tenth of the name recognition and respect that I would have given them 10 years ago.
Remember when we got Outer Worlds, like, fairly close to release and they hadn't fixed the text thing? We were just like...
Oh, yeah. That was wild. Dude, and we were playing on like a big old TV.
Yeah. We were just... What?
Say what, Sunday?
Couldn't see the captions for shit.
Text was just like microns tall. We're like, ah. Yeah, see, I was already checked out by Starfield, bro. I knew Starfield was gonna suck just looking at it. I just knew. It didn't have any fucking character to it. It's like when they start teasing a Bethesda game, you know what I mean? You like you think about Mass Effect and stuff. So it just like had its own fucking character, not the characters, the game's character pouring out of it, right? And that game just looked like it literally looked like Brick Simulator. That's what it kind of looked like to me. Just like stack a brick on top of another brick. It looks about at the same level of fucking. Like I knew Starfield was gonna suck ass. I knew it. I could tell how they talked about it, what they chose to show off about it. I knew it was gonna suck balls. I was just interested in seeing the Bethesda formula in space, which, to be fair, we already had with Outer Worlds. Kinda, yeah. I mean, Outer Worlds is more of a comedic, definitely like a goofy, wacky kind of. It definitely has comedy draped over it in a way that Starfield seems to not.
But there was like some pretty big oversights, like the fact that money became just meaningless by the end if you did any amount of side quests.
Money became meaningless, like, by maybe halfway through.
Yeah,
If you were doing
max level halfway through.
Halfway through, you're maxed out level, and you've got so much money that money doesn't mean anything anymore, and you still got half the game, basically. It was pretty bad.
And then when they released the DLCs, it ran so bad on our PlayStation that it just had to fly into the sun because it kept crashing.
Yeah.
Because the game file was too big after doing the DLCs.
Yeah. Damn. Outer Worlds was Obsidian, and it was disappointing. I think we had fun with Outer Worlds.
I think we were mixing them because Bethesda and Obsidian were both bought by Microsoft in pretty quick succession.
Lucky for me, FromSoft. Yeah, FromSoft is another maker that seems to, like, they make all the fucking, what you call it? Dead Souls, Dark Souls, Demon Souls. All the Souls games. It seems like they... are a game studio that's known for, like, super polished releases. Like, super polished, super feature complete games on day one. The new FromSoft game is a Switch 2 exclusive at launch. Yeah, but is it exclusive, or is it just like it's coming out first there? That's not, like, these exclusives are whack, bro. If they really want to suck people into buying these consoles, they need to remember what exclusive means. Exclusive doesn't mean you get to play it for 3 months on PlayStation and then it comes out on every other platform. That's what it seems like it means now. That's not exclusive.
Yeah, I think with Hogwarts Legacy, like, the only thing that was exclusive to PlayStation was, like, you would go into, there was, like, some Hogsmeade quest thing.
Yeah, it had some side thing that only the PlayStation had, which was released as DLC to everything else later. Now you can play that. I hope it's just a timed exclusive. 100% it's going to be. There's no way that a company like FromSoft that is consistently selling 100 million copies of games, going ultra platinum, right? Maybe not 100 million, but you get my drift. They're like, you have to admit, like, the last 10 years, Dark Souls, the Souls universe, probably one of the biggest. That is crazy that Bloodborne remains exclusive. It is shocking to me every year that goes by that they like, PlayStation retains exclusivity on Bloodborne. But whatever. It's a good way to start talking to a girl. I started dating her, but I only talk in text. I'm also awkward as fuck in person. What should I do? You're not dating if you're just texting a girl. That might not even be a girl over there, bro. That's the internet for you. You gotta verify identity. Here's what I always tell people. The internet relationship shit is all preliminary stuff, and it's fake if it goes on and on. Right? If you decide to settle into some sort of long distance relationship and there's no date, there's no impetus, then it's fake. It'll never happen. Right? If you reach that point and the two of you aren't willing to make accommodations and make it happen to come together, then it wasn't real in the first place. So you're not dating. You see her in how are you dating her?
But only talking.
Only talking versus text if you see her in person. Awkwardness, you know what I mean? It's in the eye of the beholder, right? So I'm a guy that's never had any kind of, like, social problems, but a lot of people probably think I'm awkward. I just don't care, right? I don't care how I'm perceived by people that don't know me, you know? But, you know, I just don't understand that whole situation. I don't understand how you could be dating somebody but afraid to talk to them. Like, how did that work? You know?
You guys just go on secret dates. Like, all right, we're at the movie. Let's just not talk. And then bye.
No, or it's just, I don't know. It's strange to me. Like, well, I guess to me, because like that early part of dating, it's like 99% talking. Like that's all that really any couple does in that early part of the relationship is get to know each other and stuff, right? Or at least that's how it works with me. Maybe that's not true with other people. Maybe it starts as a way more like physical thing at the front, and then slowly but surely you pick up drips and drabs about people. But that just seems backwards to me. Do hookers count? Clearly, I mean, that's a different type of relationship, right? That's a financial transaction. It's not a relationship. It's a business relationship, if anything, right? I think a lot of guys probably fall for that sort of thing too. It's like, I fell in love with a stripper. I fell in love with an escort. I fell in love with a hooker. It's probably pretty common.
Probably have a certain amount of money for a hooker to consider starting a relationship with you.
Yeah, probably. That's how I knew my wife was the right person to be with. We never ran out of things to talk about. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a good place to start. I don't think that it means, I'm not talking about your relationship. I'm just saying I don't think that it necessarily means in general that you're going to hit it off, but it's definitely good if you have that good rapport with one another. Me and Amelia just talked each other's ears off for the month or so that we were kind of internet dating-ish.
Yeah. But, made the plan to get together in person.
Well, I told you all this stuff. You remember, like, before we even got that serious or moved in and stuff, I told you, I said, look, this internet shit it's not real. It never goes anywhere. And, I can't move. I've got this job. You know what I mean? I would be broke if I moved right now. So you got to come to me. And she did. She agreed.
Yep. Drove my ass and my cat all the way down.
Packed your poor little car out. Drove your ass down with a cat that weighed twice what he does now. I thought that you had lied to me and tried to sneak 2 cats in on me when I picked up his carrier. I was like, Jesus Christ. Holy moly, we got a big boy.
But he detubified.
Huh?
He detubified fairly quickly.
He
just
did.
Can't free feed like my ex-boyfriend was trying to do with him.
Well, yeah, he was just leaving out food all day and letting him eat whenever he wanted to eat.
Some cats can do that.
Some, yeah, I guess maybe some will just leave and take only what they want, but he's obsessive about the food, so you got to control his intake.
Yeah.
And once we started doing that, he got to a healthy weight, like real quick. Probably like during that first 5 or 6 months of lockdown.
Yeah.
I think Cricket probably lost a good fucking like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
It's your lowest note you can sing. Sweet. That's about as low as I can go sustained. It's pretty low. D2. Well, there you go. You got a good ear. I don't read music, so,
Yeah, you're good at like copying a tone, but not necessarily identifying it on a chart or whatever.
Sounds like a vacuum.
You're not trying to sing it, you're just toning.
Yeah.
about the highest?
Highest? Without falsetto? Oh, that was tough. Hold on. I need to wet my whistle first. This is gonna be horrible. That's touching my falsetto.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's it. That's as high as she goes.
Not as high as
No.
it used to be.
No, I used to sing bari tenor, so
Yeah.
not first tenor, so I was never super duper high. I just don't know how. D5. So that's my range. D5, D2. You're a bass? Cool. Yeah, I sang bari tenor in high school, and I've abused my vocal cords in various ways since then. So I've lost a little bit of my range for sure.
So what's the difference between, like, you said like it was touching on your falsetto? Is like falsetto just like not as full throated, or?
Well, yeah, falsetto is when you go ooh. It's like,
You're doing it more up here.
yeah, well, it's up in the nasal and kind of in the throat rather than in the chest.
Yeah. So you just couldn't be as loud if you were falsettoing.
Yeah, but like a lot of singers do a lot with their falsetto. It's like there's that remember Coldplay? They had that song, "When you try your best but you don't succeed." It's like all in falsetto.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot, and really skilled performer singers can switch between their full voice and falsetto pretty seamlessly. Like there's a lot of tricks you can use to do that. Falsetto is like if you think about trying to do a Mickey Mouse voice. It's like putting on that fake high voice. Interestingly enough, useful in like voice training and stuff, you know, in multiple different ways, right? If you're trying to extend your vocal range, you're trying to change your speaking voice, which is common nowadays, falsetto can be used.
You just can't project as much with it.
Yeah, not anywhere near as much as you can with a full chest, you know, a full note, a full diaphragmic note. My lowest comfort. I don't know the scale, but if you sing bass, you're probably way down deep, way below me. I only know basic music theory. I can do some relative pitch. See, I was told in high school by my choir director that I had near perfect pitch because I had immediate memory recall of pitch. I can't read music, right? So I can't tell you like that's, you know, C sharp major or whatever. I can't do that. But if I hear a song and commit it to memory, you can wait however long you want and ask me to sing that song, and I will hit the pitch dead on, right?
Within your ability.
Within my ability, right? Look behind you. Man. Faceplant. Basically able to brute force it. Well, I can hear the music in my head. So what I will do, literally, if I need to hit a pitch that's weird, it's like that "You've Got a Friend in Me" song that I sang back in the DP days. That's a good one to use because it's a weird note that it starts. So I don't just start singing it. I hear do 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 Dun, dun, dun. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Like you got it. I have to hear in my head the reference notes to know where it's at, right?
I'm good at memorizing a lot of things.
Mimicry.
Mimicry, yeah.
That's what it's called.
I mean, like other stuff too, like movies. You can play a whole movie in your head.
Yeah, I have a facility for memorization of dialogue as well, and lyrics. I guess I've got I got a steel trap for lyrics. If a song is catchy to me,
Yeah.
I can casually listen to it a couple of times and sing most of it. What's your idea of classic country music? Like, did you ever hear a night so long the stars began to cry? Little Hank William, Hank the First. Hank Williams the First. Johnny Cash. I like the Highwaymen. You ever listen to the Highwaymen? That was Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson. Oh, I like Garth Brooks. That's about like where my country music, pop country music ended with Garth Brooks. So in the 90s with Rope in the Wind and Two of a Kind and those couple of albums that he had. Wild Horses, I think, was the second one, not Two of a Kind. But those two albums, Rope in the Wind and Wild Horses, I think, like pretty fucking like gold.
As I learned, I'm not much of a old folk fan.
Well, I mean, some of it is a little. I'm just not a Bob Dylan fan.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. You take what's her name? I forget her name now. The lady that sang
With him.
yeah. You take her by herself, Joan Baez.
Yeah.
Take her by herself, and I think she's got a beautiful voice. But mixed in with his kind of weird nasally affect, I just have never liked Bob Dylan. I just haven't. I just don't vibe with Bob Dylan. Some of his songs are a vibe. Like The Times Are Changing is one of those songs that'll stick with you. So
he's a brilliant lyricist.
yes, brilliant lyricist, not a great singer.
It was nails on a fucking chalkboard watching that Bob Dylan movie.
Yeah.
With him and Joan Baez singing at the same
Yep.
time. I mean, I assume it was less chalkboardy with the actual voices and not actors making their voices, but
I don't know. I haven't listened to a whole lot of. I don't know how many recordings there are of him and Baez together, but you know, I do know that Timothy Chalamet did a really fucking good job capturing Bob Dylan's tone, and it did not sound great together. Well, it sounded good together when they harmonized.
Yeah.
But so much of the time they were hitting the same notes and the same register, and their voices are like sandpaper and silk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, ugh. You know, Ballad of the Green Beret. I don't know. Bob Dylan got the Beatles high for their first time. Good for him. I do not play Fortnite, no. As you can tell probably by looking at me, I'm not 13, so I don't play Fortnite. Sorry. commit human atrocities in the Congo. I did not. I've never even been to the Congo, sir. What's a new band do you think is doing good things right now? I gotta be honest with you. I've been almost entirely checked out of the new anything that's not hip hop for a few years now. When I hear rock music or pop most of the time, I'm just not grooving with it. Now there's some stuff that I've liked pop music wise. I like Alice Long Yu Gao. I like
That's more like hyper pop.
yeah, I like Charlie XCX. This is all stuff that Amelia has introduced me to. What's that band that sings the Barbed Wire Kiss?
Oh, that's Nightclub.
Nightclub.
But yeah, even that's like it's a branch off of pop. It's synth pop.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely pop music.
Yeah.
What are you pissed about, Phoebes? Did somebody kick your ass?
But yeah, none of those are bands.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess not.
Like Nightclub is just, you know, a music producer and the chick, basically.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
Power is out across huge swathes of the deep south right now. Oh,
Yeah, those naders.
Yeah, you guys are getting like crazy wind and shit, tornadoes and this, that, and the other. Yeah, that whole region is looking pretty fucking crazy. So yeah, what? 5 hours powered down. Yeah. I had some bad fucking times in Louisiana with that. They were pretty good on the North Shore at bringing it back up in a reasonable time, but I remember one of them knocked us out fucking, it was over a day. A statewide power outage for 5 days in the middle of Maine winter last year. Yeah, that's like deadly.
Yeah.
That's like potentially deadly situation for people. Yeah, worst I ever lived through was there was this transformer that blew. It actually made this huge like thunk. Everybody was sitting around in our house. Like it was when I lived in my condo, so it was in kind of an older neighborhood. And all of a sudden there was this like thunk, and all the power went, and the whole neighborhood was out, right? And so of course everybody lit up, calling PG&E.
Mm-hmm.
PG&E comes out. There's a transformer buried under the street that blew.
No.
And
Which
so
is just like a freak fucking thing.
Right. And they're going to have to dig the whole fucking street up and go 20 feet down to get to where the transformer's at. And it's going to, they straight up said it was going to be a week.
Yeah.
And we were like, what? So a lot of people don't know this. At least in California with power companies and shit, they pay you a stipend.
Mm-hmm.
Like they pay you for like food that you are going to lose because your refrigerator isn't running. So like, but it ended up being 2 weeks at my house with no power, no internet, no nothing, candles and water, and that's it.
Would they have paid for you to stay in a hotel if you
There was
needed it?
yes, they would have, but it was so inconvenient for me. Like to move my shit to a hotel for an indeterminate amount of time that I just stayed at home.
Oh, yeah, it's probably necessary for like some people with like medical devices and stuff to have consistent power somewhere else.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they can't blame anything for maintenance on that shit. There wasn't no weapon that was killing an underground transformer.
I mean, there's probably some level of observational maintenance they could make on it, but yeah, that was a freak thing. But also not super high on their priority list. Yeah. So they took their sweet time getting it all fucking figured out. My baby niece's bottle's warmed and his water boiled. We have warm and boiled his water on the grill right now. Oh yeah, you have a gas grill. That's you're better off than a lot of people in that situation. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, seriously. Ration your propane. You know what I mean? And only use it when you need it. No, I know. That's your stakes across the fucking South right now, right? So, yeah, I mean, people don't understand, like, one of the, like, I don't mean to get all doomery, right? But one of the scariest things about modern nuclear exchanges is a lot of modern nuclear weapons are not designed to detonate on the ground. And necessarily not designed to kill people with the blast. They are designed to create an EMP and a huge, massive, ground-directed electromagnetic pulse that fries technology. So anything technological, your smartphone, your car, your internet, electrical substations, all of that stuff, all of that electrical stuff, gets this huge magnetic pulse that basically blows out its internals.
People just ain't gonna be able to drive unless they got a car from the 2000s.
Yeah.
Or earlier at that point.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for being pissed. But, you know, it just goes to show you how fragile our sense of comfort and stability is in this country and how much it depends on the tenuous ability at times of these different power companies and governmental organizations to provide quick relief in times of power outage. No, it ain't gotta be like that. You know, in a world where you could go and appropriate some money differently, right? Instead of giant tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires. Since my childhood, we got tax levies from those wealthy people to fund the power grid and its maintenance nationwide, to fund the internet, right, and all of its associated technologies nationwide, to fund one of the most sorely needed things, just basic street and road upgrade and repair, bridge repair, train track repair. You know how many derailments there were the last fucking 5 or 6 years just due to poorly maintained train tracks? You know what I mean? So none of it, and a lot of people just kind of shrug and go like, well, that's the way it is, but they don't understand it doesn't have to be that way. Like, you know what has to be that way? When tax day rolls around, you have to pay money, right? That's what has to be that way. They don't have to spend that money on big, giant corporate giveaways and tax breaks for their buddies and stuff. They just do. And the question becomes, like, how long are we collectively willing to sit and allow that arrangement? We pay, right, out the fucking ass to drive on potholy roads and sit around with 5 hours of no power. I'm going to warm our baby bottles on the gas grill. Right? Jeff Bezos has a yacht with a yacht And I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking down the line and hoping that rent doesn't get much higher. I'm pretty much on the edge of what I can afford there. See what I mean? Donald Trump's wacky, smoot, blily fucking tariff shit. It's like, we already knew what happened there. That happened back in the 20s. Protectionism when it comes to trade like this with tariffs and stuff. It's typically widespread ones too. It's not a good thing for the economy, the way the global economy is set up. Especially not now, let alone the 20s.
Like, Reagan did this giant speech against tariffs when he was president.
Well, it just goes to show you that, like, okay, so when I would say like 10, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
the Republican Party was the party of Reagan. Everybody worshipped everything that man did and stood for.
No Republican president would be doing this tariff shit in the wake of Reagan 10, 15
But Trump
years ago.
changed all that.
Yeah.
Trump blew up the Republican Party. He literally factionalized it, and you've got one faction that rides with him no matter what, and another faction that knows they can't beat him, so just kind of try and minimize the damage and go along with it. So the Republican Party is absolutely gone for generations, like in terms of ever coming back to that more sane social and economic conservatism. It's so sad to think about it that way because
Reagan,
Reagan blew up.
Yeah,
he blew up the unions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just a massive, massive arch conservative. But in comparison, I'd rather deal with a Reagan right now because he had, at the very least, the brakes were on when it came to wild shit. Like either it was him or his team were tamping down the worst instincts and at least making moves based on what economists and experts said, right? This Trump shit, he's demented. He's gone off his fucking nut. And
yeah, did you see that one thing that he put a 10% tariff on an island that's inhabited only by penguins?
Those penguins are pissed right now. I bet those penguins are like, squawk! You know? I'm just telling you, Goop. I'm just telling you. Like, yeah, you know, we're in, and we have been. The era of Trump it's new. You can't really look at Trump and point at an analog to Trump, right? He's got a lot of the same ideas as Ronnie Reagan. He's got a lot of the same ideas as the neoconservatives under George W. Bush, right? But the way that he goes about it and the absolute, unquestionable cult-like respect that he demands from his followers and supporters is unprecedented.
His reaction to the courts is unprecedented.
Yeah. And, you know, I hate to fucking be a broken record on this, but the Democrats, it's been incumbent upon them to put forward their absolute best foot and to provide some kind of pushback. And we're talking major pushback against this Trump conservatism. And they have not done that. They've rolled over.
That Cory Booker thing should have happened way earlier.
That Cory Booker thing was nothing. I looked into it a little deeper. It was literally just a pointless publicity stunt. He didn't hold up any legislation. He didn't even talk about Israel and the continued funding of that. He couldn't find time to say one word about that in 24 hours. It wasn't even a filibuster. It was just a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
He was talking to an empty gallery for most of the day. That's it.
I guess the main thing that happened is when the Senate was back in session, a few Republicans voted to overturn the Canada tariffs, but that was a little late because then the new tariffs came out.
Yeah, it's fucked. The stock market is in free fall, like absolutely fucking tanking right now, which is a long time coming. And maybe, I hate to be one of these dudes, but I'm gonna say it. Maybe the economic system needed this, because I think there's a lot of fake money wrapped up in the goddamn stock market right now. I think there's a lot of theoretical dollars being passed around and doubled down on that maybe need to be bled out of the system. So,
but it sucks for everybody else, 'cause,
well, it sucks for everybody no matter what, because the people that are going to suffer the worst are these people that paid into a big ass 401k their whole life. They just, $1 trillion just jumped out of people's fucking retirements.
And the companies that are on that stock exchange, like, oh, we gotta do something, we gotta lay off a fuck ton of people,
Right.
we gotta do this, we gotta do that.
I mean, my parents, both of my parents, currently subsidize. they're on a fixed income. Both of my parents are retired and old, and reliant on the payouts that they made into these retirement programs and shit. And these retirement programs are all pooled investment into the stock market. So when the stock market takes a shit, every retiree takes the shit. It's like the most vulnerable people, the people that literally can't support themselves anymore because they're too old, the sick, and the poor take the whole brunt of all of this fuckery, right? Like, it may be a dose of medicine that was coming no matter what. In fact, it was, looking at the market. The market's been a house of cards for 20 years, so
and it was teetering on a recession almost since COVID. Like, it was some fucking miracle that it didn't.
Well, it was massive infusions into the private sector from the federal government. Huge tax breaks for companies and interest-free loans and all that shit. That's what did it.
The cost of that was inflation.
Right. The cost of that was everything costs more. And now everything's about to cost way more. The way I understand economics, and take it from me, I'm not a fucking economics person, so I'll probably be corrected, but America has transferred from a production economy, or like an industrial economy, to a service economy. So we have a lot of money, and we can afford to import our luxury items and staple goods, thus exporting that industry, right? So we don't have to support that industry here. We can support this giant service industry that includes the tech industry, the car industry, or what's left of it here in the United States, the silicone manufacturing industry, restaurants and clothing stores and art and all of this stuff that isn't a staple good. We can make that stuff. We export that to the world. That's kind of the balance, right? As I understand it in the world. And these tariffs just absolutely blows up. You know what I mean? Blows that balance up.
You have so many companies that were founded basically starting what they're making shit in China.
Right. If we put a bunch of tariffs, just a money barrier to these imported goods, then it makes no sense for us to have exported the industry to those countries anyway. Yeah. And it puts us in a raggedy position.
Yeah, you can't just magically make all the factories that are in China in the U.S.
People widely misunderstand trade deficits as well. They think trade deficit means we're getting fucked. And it doesn't. It's like...
It's just, like we might just have more stuff that we need from a country than they need from us.
Right. The fact that country is able to sustain our demand for this makes up for the deficit.
Yeah.
because we don't have to do anything to make it. We just import it. So this is about to be fucked up. About to be pretty fucked up. And like I said, dude, long term, it may be a positive thing. It may be a positive thing for America to kind of reindustrialize a little bit, start making things again.
But it's going to take forever.
Oh, that is not something you can snap your fingers and bring back factories.
Yeah.
It is going to take forever for companies to scale back up to that. And in the meantime, Americans are going to eat shit. There's a rough road ahead.
Yeah. And, in terms of foreign policy with the cuts to U.S. aid and stuff, like, we're just handing China
yeah, we're just
on a platter.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Because what is China going to do? We got this bellicose United States, right? And what's China going to do? What they're doing in Africa already. They're going to come with their arms open and their pockets fucking wide open. Big smiles, big open arms. Let us help. America's failing you? Let us help you. Pretty spooky. But probably necessary. The fact that we're racing towards the first declared trillionaire in the United States while all of this economic devastation is happening globally is the source of the problem. And so maybe resetting that and resetting the ability for that to happen is a sorely needed thing. But unfortunately, the people that are really going to suffer are people like my parents and me and you.
That's how our system is. Like, back a few years ago, they were saying the only thing that would, like, completely stop inflation would be, like, if unemployment went up to, like, 10%. Like, that's how our system works.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to have people suffer to combat inflation. But this isn't even doing either. It's raising inflation and...
Yeah, it's fucked. No, I mean, like, look, dude, honestly, my parents are doing pretty well because they secured their retirement in the 80s before the unions and shit blew up.
Actual pensions.
They've got pension contracts, so they're funded. So my parents are probably going to be just fine. They're definitely going to be better off than most people's parents are, or younger people's parents will be. You know what I mean? I'm lucky. My parents still had a piece of when workers were properly compensated, or at least close to it, in this country. But, you know what I mean? I think about them as a template. When I say my parents, I just think about their position in life. Busted their asses their whole life. My dad survived cancer last year, right? He's 70. My mom's pushing 70. And it's just like, those are the people whose money is going to bear the brunt of this.
Yeah. And then if you look at a little younger, it's like people that were, like, hoping to cross the retirement line in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Or like,
they were hoping to get what my parents got.
Yeah.
And now that retirement age just keeps getting kicked up, and Social Security just keeps getting raided, and the economy's now in the toilet. So how's that retirement looking? Looking like you're going to be working into your 70s now. I can't even imagine that. My parents wouldn't have been able to. Both of my parents worked physical labor jobs until they retired. And my mom's body was falling apart. That's why she retired, because of that. I'd have spinal fusion in her neck, had multiple surgeries on her neck to get it fixed. She was done. She couldn't do it anymore. Same thing with my stepdad. Stepdad worked at that same factory. Deaf now, deaf as a stone, largely due to the fact that he worked around machinery his whole life. You know, and yeah, those places required ear protection, but there's only so much you can protect your ears from. in situations like that. So.
And the culture of those environments too, like it might be available, but the culture of it's not.
Yeah.
Like the culture is more about like increase efficiency, not take advantage of every safety thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I was doing warehouse work, like, yeah, you were supposed to use a ladder in X, Y, and Z instance, but, you know, it takes an extra minute to open it up and put it back versus just reaching and overreaching.
Yep. Child labor is back. It's the Gilded Age is back. A lot of these southern states are just quietly erasing these anti-child labor laws that don't allow you to work a 13-year-old overnight and don't allow you to hire a 12-year-old and don't, you know what I mean? So child labor's back. It's the Gilded Age all over again. And shit's about to get messy. Because if you look at what happened in the last Gilded Age, you know, do the math. Because it's my theory, and I know a lot of people might feel differently about this, but I look at the American people like a tea kettle. There's a pressure building inside that tea kettle right now, right? And eventually, that pressure is going to have to escape somewhere. Because the pressure internally in that tea kettle is going to get so fucking high and hot. And when that happens, I think we're going to see some crazy shit in this country. And I look at just our recent history for that. You don't have to go back much further than I go back to see the country tearing itself apart and rebuilding certain aspects of itself. And it is beyond time that America do that. Beyond. America has settled into a cycle of rot where the rich get richer and the poor get fucked over and out, to put it mildly.
Now, what do you think Trump's motivations are? Do you think some of it is just genuine, he lost his fucking mind?
Yes. I think that Trump is a hardcore narcissist that could not, for whatever reason, fill the hole inside of him by being a billionaire real estate mogul.
Yeah, that was known worldwide and all
Right.
that shit. Yeah.
Just had his ass kissed wherever he landed for the rest of his life. Just never, that's not enough. And he got a taste of power. But see, that was his first thing, right? They didn't understand the depths of what was happening with Trump. And when I say they, I mean all of us, right? And so there was this idea that he could be opposed and that he was going to be allowed. You remember after 2016, after he lost to Biden, the sentiment was Trump's fucking done.
Yeah, he's going to go to prison.
He's going to be in prison. If he's lucky, he'll just be obscure now. And look at where that got us. Because if anything was underestimated, it was the black hole at the center of Trump. And now that he has, because it's the worst thing that could have happened to the Republicans. So many of them, when he was defeated, started shit talking. That's why it's so factionalized. Because now he's got them by the fucking short and curlies. Because he's all powerful. Got a mandate. He won a big election, took every goddamn swing state, and he's going to capitalize on every bit of that. And the problem with it is that he's insane. He's an old guy that isn't quite there anymore, and nobody's going to fucking tell him anything. If he says it's done, it's going to be done.
He picked a almost equally crazy friend of Elon.
Yep. I heard Elon is going bye-bye.
I mean, he's stepping down from Doge, but that's, I think, more to appease Tesla.
I read a thing in Politico or whatever from the New Yorker Said an internal source in the Trump campaign that
Yeah.
wished not to be named said that Elon,
He got the gentle boot.
well, it's in the works. He's on his way.
Yeah.
Whether he knows it or not, his time standing next to the president and soaking up the orange one's limelight is over.
I see.
He's going back to his broken companies to see if he can mend what he has broken with his hubris. So raise your hand if you called that, by the way. I'm on record.
He was pushing Trump so hard with that joint conference.
Yeah.
He was like right on the edge of
Oh my God.
tolerance.
Well, you could see it on Trump's face.
Yeah.
When he was standing there with his kid and his kid's rampaging around all over the Resolute desk, and Trump just looked like, and Elon's just couldn't stop talking. His companies are in tatters, especially like Tesla. Tesla is in the shit box. And Trump's about to cut the umbilical cord and go like, it's been nice knowing you, Elon, but get the fuck out.
And it's a great scapegoat for him, too.
Yeah, he can just be like, Elon was wild. He had some good ideas. He had some bad ideas. But that's over now. You know, it'll be something like that. I watched that fucking socially awkward Nepo baby just... I knew this was going to happen before he won the election. Mm-hmm. Because you remember that? Elon was already hogging the limelight, already soaking in that Trump. Yeah. Trump was happy to take it then because it was bringing in money. But afterwards, he thought he was going to be able to fucking keep acting that way. Matter of time.
You think he just kept Elon around long enough to just secure enough power to where he's like, I don't need another goddamn cent from you?
I think now he's the president now. Yeah. He can just extract that money now. So got him on the dog chain. I think Elon thought he had the influence. Nobody's got influence but Trump.
If there's anything we learned with his last term, he'll throw people away like dirty dish rags.
Yeah.
Like a coin flip.
The best thing for Elon is that he just kind of like semi-cordially cuts ties and lets Elon go back to his smoldering companies to try and rebuild shit. Yeah. That's the best. If Elon is stupid and takes a big fucking ketamine hit and gets on Twitter and talks shit, this is the president that's going to notice it. Mm-hmm. And if he does that, he'll go right under the fucking wheels of the bus.
He'll go in the list of enemies
that
Trump has made.
Yep.
Because, like, remember, there were certain people that he fired that, like, they went on the enemies list as soon as he fired them. Like, Pence got put on the enemies list.
Yeah. Yep. Musk ain't gonna be shadow shit. Give up on that. Musk ain't gonna go shadow president nothing. Like I said, his best hope is that Trump is cordial in public and just goes like, I love Elon, but it was time for him to, he's a busy man. He's got stuff to do. He's got a lot of companies. The guy's got great companies. That's the best. That's if Elon
doesn't fight it at all.
Doesn't fight it and sucks the orange mushroom whenever he needs to. Because he didn't understand. It's like a I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me scenario. Elon thought he was buying himself influence. What he bought himself was a dog collar. Because now Trump is going to jerk it whenever Elon steps. Dude, Elon loves talking crazy shit on Twitter. He loves snorting a big fucking line of fresh baked K.
Well, there's a strong argument that Elon could be very easily deported. he misused a student visa when he came into the country.
He better watch his shit.
He could pull that citizenship.
Yep.
Right away.
Yep.
Probably wouldn't even be court challenged.
Probably
like,
not.
oh, he messed
Especially
up.
not in this environment.
Yeah, like, oh, he lied when he got a student visa, so now he's done.
He's gone. Now he's become a teenager and can't be handled. Oh, he's about to be handled. He may not know it yet. He may be in the K-hole right now and not understanding what's going on, but he's about to figure out. Trump brutalizes people that defy him, that are close to him. He does not brook contention of any kind and does not appreciate it.
He will throw people away that he praised like weeks earlier.
Yep. He'll be on TV praising a dude that privately he's shitting on. That's Trump. Trump is fickle as fuck. The one way. See, I've listened to all of the audiobooks that Bob Woodward has written about the Trump administration. Bob Woodward had pretty unprecedented access to the Trump administration. So he did, I think it was called Rage, Fear, and I can't remember what the third one is called. It's something like that. There's 3 books about the Trump presidency and the Trump effect, right? And he's had pretty unprecedented access to both Trump himself and the litany of people surrounding Trump, right? Bob Woodward, of course, being one half of Woodward and Bernstein, who broke Watergate, among other things, right? Like a really well-respected American journalist. If you listen to those books...
You're talking about the Trump tapes for the third one?
No, there's another one. I'd have to...
Oh, Rage, Fear, War.
War. Yeah. Rage, Fear, Peril. I think it is Peril, yeah. I don't think I've read War yet.
I guess that one's about more Israel.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, if you listen to those books, which I have, and you take, obviously Bob Woodward is going to take a little bit of poetic license, right? But if you take them at pretty much face value, what you learn about Trump is that he is prone to intense and insane mood swings, and they're typically on how he feels about people. So if he feels a person has stepped out of line and hasn't supported his agenda,
or has harmed his image,
even if he's taken it out of context, even if it's a small thing, even if it's minute, he doesn't brook any opposition, and he literally will throw those people right under the fucking bus. Right under it. He doesn't give 2 shits or a fuck how long he's known you or how loyal you were during the election. He has no loyalty to anything but himself. And if you have loyalties to anything but him, you're done. And Elon Musk was standing there soaking up the orange light. You saw it. Standing up and talking to the press while his kid runs rampage all over the office. Talking shit. You hear his kid talking shit to Trump? You're not the president. That wasn't going to last, bro. And then Trump having to come out and do a Tesla commercial for Elon. You think that came for free? Didn't help either. Didn't turn around them Tesla sales at all.
I mean, there was like a slight Tesla bump after, but then it withered away.
Tesla. Did his kid actually say that? Yeah. Well, I mean, look, dude, you can go find the video of it. What I heard X3 Alpha Apollo base number 7 2184 4.7 was, "You're not the president. You need to go away."
But why do you think Trump didn't pull the plug right there? Why do you think he?
Well, okay, good question. In that book, Trump doesn't pull the plug right away. He pulls the plug mentally and virtually, but he's smart about how he exits these people.
So he's considering PR
Yeah.
at the same time.
But he's always ready to throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
But he knows you can't just like kick somebody out and have them go straight to you got to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
So it's not like, but once he's made up his mind, he doesn't switch it back. Like once that person has fucked him over, it doesn't matter how hard they grovel.
Yeah, he just uses like all of his intelligence is centered around PR, basically.
Yeah. I mean, he's not like, here's the thing. Notice I said he's insane. He's not retarded. This idea that Trump is a big buffoon has led to 2 Trump presidencies. It doesn't work. Something's not adding up. The dude knows PR.
He's not a Rhodes Scholar by any means,
No.
but he knows PR.
The camera fucking loves him. I'm not saying he's like hyper photogenic. I'm saying the camera loves him.
The news is obsessed with him.
He knows how to yank the strings on the media better than any other politician in my lifetime. Right? He just knows how to pull the strings. And that is not stupid. That's not retarded. The dude is way more politically savvy than people give him credit for. And that underestimation of Trump.
Well, like you saw when he got shot at, his brain immediately flicked into, how do I make this look
Right.
good?
Right. He wasn't going to just like be seen being huddled away by he was going to stand up. So how many people, like, dude, if somebody shot at me and
on the ground.
I would be on the ground. And if I had people there and they told me, keep your fucking head down and get, I wouldn't defy them at all.
They would probably drag you up. Like, okay, never mind.
I'm dead ass serious. And look, I would not be, my mind would not be thinking photo op. Trump was on the ground for like 20 seconds before they started really moving him. And as soon as he stood up, you can watch him. He fights against them. They go, keep your head down. And he's like, fuck. He does that shit. And people thought he was going to lose to Biden after that again. That shit was wild, bro. Wild. There's no defying him. There's no stopping him.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he's bad, but the strategy is not Trump bad, because that's just more Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's Trump's trick, is it's still about me.
It's not even Trump's trick.
Yeah.
It's fucking P.T. Barnum. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
The more people are talking about you, the better off you are.
Yeah. But the Democrats just kept going Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad,
Yep.
Trump bad.
Instead of, here's what we're going to do good.
Yeah.
They've lost their messaging. Their messaging is now, think about that shit. Isn't that wild? For almost a decade or more, has been Trump bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working. Controlled opposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're presuming that they want to oppose Trump, when in actuality, they really don't. Who do you think killed JFK?
Like, I think, yeah, people really misunderstood you during the election. Like, you're not saying Trump isn't bad, but that obviously isn't how you fight Trump.
No. The way to fight Trump was to make a compelling candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden wasn't it, and Kamala Harris wasn't it. And I vociferously said that throughout, right?
Yeah, like, you also saying Trump bad wasn't going to do jack shit.
I said Trump bad plenty.
Yeah.
I've never stopped saying Trump bad.
Yeah. But like you like going like, to the extreme, like some people were wanting you to do.
Oh, well,
like,
going
Hitler.
for them going to the extreme is suck it up and support Biden when there's no point in doing so. Like I could see one thing about like maybe criticizing me for not consolidating closer to the event and going like, yeah, you know, if you're in a swing state, you should probably go vote Biden or vote Kamala or whatever. Maybe you could criticize me for that, right? But this absurd expectation.
You didn't say Trump was Hitler enough times.
Well, this absurd expectation that in like 2022 I start carrying Biden water, looking forward to 2024, was absurd. That's never going to be me. You do that, and the Democratic Party will remain exactly where it is forever. Ineffectual, controlled opposition, weak, stupid, media stupid. Remember that fucking dude? I'll never forget that fucking ancient old white senators with Pelosi at the helm of them wearing like a fucking African dashiki rag. The squad sitting at around a teepee with their hair braided and shit. I mean, we gotta stop, guys. They don't know what Trump knows. They don't know how to be charismatic. They don't know how to be populist anymore.
Probably the most infuriating thing about Kamala is that she didn't differentiate herself from Biden at all. Any possible differentiation, she's quashed.
Yeah. Well, he quashed it.
Yeah.
If you listen to like some of the interviews and stuff that have come out, he was like, yeah, if you're going to do this, that's fine, but I'm at the reins.
Yeah. You are me, but you are female.
That the quote was that he told her before the big debate with Trump, 0 daylight, meaning there should be no space between me and you. No daylight between us. My agenda is your agenda, and your agenda is my agenda.
Which was a terrible strategy.
Coronating her in the first place was a terrible strategy, but locking her into the very unpopular policy positions that were losing Biden, they wanted to lose to Trump. This is a fundraising opportunity, if anything, for the Democrats.
Well, yeah, because now they can just keep campaigning on Trump bad.
Trump bad.
Has been more bad,
yeah.
So that they could probably get it next time.
No.
But then the expectation is just
if there is a
revert
fucking
back
next
to normal.
If there is a fucking next time. And then parading, dude. Okay, this has been kind of fucking with me too. I'm not trying to go completely crazy with this. Did you notice that there was one country that was entirely absent from Trump's tariffs?
Was it Russia?
Does that make...
His argument would probably be it was already under sanctions, but yeah, I mean, I think
But he just did like widespread tariffs on companies
islands with penguins.
Well, and not only that, but like countries that are under no sanctions.
Yeah. I mean, he tariffed, like, the Canada thing, like, as much as you guys joke about it, it's fucking weird.
Oh, him saying, like, continuously saying he's going to take it over?
Well, just punishing them at all in the first place. Like, they're probably our best ally in the whole...
Well, they're our closest ally in the whole world.
They've gone to all the stupid wars with us.
Well, except Vietnam.
Yeah. Well, a vast majority of the stupid wars.
Sure. They were smart enough to sit out Vietnam. I give them credit for that. They did go to Vietnam? No, they didn't.
Let's see. Let's put this to bed.
Canada did not go to Vietnam.
Belligerents. Australia did, but not
Yep.
Canada.
I mean, yeah, not officially. I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of interplay internationally, and they probably manufactured some shit for it. They definitely were our allies during it, but they didn't put boots on the ground in Vietnam.
Iraq is a different story.
Every other misadventure is a different story, but that one, they got a clean slate on Vietnam, okay? From my perspective. Yeah, I'm sure if you dig into it deep enough, you'd find caveats where they helped here, helped there, but none of it would lead to Canada sent troops to Vietnam as the conclusion.
I think that probably stemmed from how much the right was hating on Trudeau and just kind of capitalizing on that anti-Trudeau thing. Even after Trudeau was out, we just had to keep hating Canada.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Scotty's pulling the strings. I don't know what it is there, but maybe Trudeau, he just got tired of Trudeau talking shit. Maybe Trudeau made some orange buffoon jokes after he lost. Trump, don't forget that shit.
Yeah.
Trump operates on vendetta. So if Trudeau, and he probably did, made some jokes about Trump or just was dismissive of Trump or laughed at Trump while Trump was down in 2020, just lost to Biden. Trump's got a little mental fucking checklist, and he puts that shit in the fucking vengeance box.
Yeah. And even after Canada got rid of Trudeau.
Well, that's the thing with Trump. He thinks of Trudeau as just the head, the literal head on the body that is Canada.
Yeah.
They're all wrapped together. They're all Canadians are Trudeau now.
Yeah.
That's how he thinks.
Do you think Netanyahu could get on Trump's bad side, or does Netanyahu understand Trump better?
I think that Netanyahu probably understands Trump pretty well, but I do think that he could easily get on Trump's bad side. Easily. It's gonna be a tightrope for everybody.
But yeah, I think I distracted you from the Russia thing.
What?
You pointing out that the tariffs weren't affecting Russia.
I don't know if I have much more to say about it than that. It's suspicious to me.
Yeah.
All of the people that were close to Trump that were found guilty of breaking campaign finance rules by having talks with Russians and taking money from Russians. And so, like, there was a ton of people. I can't remember all their names. But there was a bunch of people that were directly in his administration that were indicted on that shit. And a bunch of them found guilty of violating campaign finance shit. So that's a bunch of, like, Russia ties. And then all of the pro-Russian Trump propaganda, that's not even in question. Like, that was found to all be true, that Russia was making significant inroads and infiltrating our social media environments with a bunch of largely pro-Trump rhetoric, and now Trump decides he's going to punish all his enemies in the world that talk shit about him with some tariffs. Putin ain't on that list. That press conference, you remember that press conference he did back in like 2017 or something when he went and met Putin and
I don't.
There was this press conference where he was standing next to Putin. He had just met with Putin. And he was like full fucking Putin lapdog mode.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't like every American alphabet agency that had taken a look at this, all of our law enforcement and investigative ability had pretty much conclusively determined that Russia did massive misinformation campaigns and botting and shit, mostly pro-Trump, like I said, during the 2016 electoral cycle, right? It was just like not even in contention. And they asked Trump, you know, how did you work that out with Mr. Putin? You know, the fact that it's pretty much, you know, known that Russia interfered with the election. And he said, well, I asked him about that, and he denied it. And I tell you, he was very strong in his denial, very strong. And I don't see any reason that they would do that. And I was like, what? So, yeah, he idolizes Putin. He looks at Putin as the template for how he should be, how he should be respected, how he should be seen, how he should be feared globally. And so there is a really good chance that, you know, Russia is yanking a whole lot of strings on Trump that he doesn't even realize.
You think it might be more idolization than leverage?
Well, I mean, there's also fucking that, you know, like fucking, he is a billionaire that was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Right? He's like just best buds. He's all over Jeffrey Epstein's flight lists and call logs. They had something like 16 different numbers to get a hold of Trump. Right? The Russian government, one of the things, I mean, it's not like the American investigative agencies don't do this too, but like they call it compromat, right? Where they get all of this compromising information on you and then it's like presented to you. Like, hey, we know you're a cross-dresser. Hey, we know that you're gay. Hey, we know that you slept with this hooker in 1985 in this fucking hotel near the Kremlin. Whoops. You know what I mean?
Do you think they might have some serious compromise on them? No one else was able to get?
Well, think about it. It's like, that shit is worth so much more in implication than it is to release it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's one thing to destroy a politician, and it's another thing to control that politician.
But, I mean, you think even with Trump's cult status, what compromise would be bad enough to lose the cult?
Sex tapes with him with some underage girls.
Yeah, you think that would just...
That would be it. If that came out, I mean, I think there would be some Trump loyalists who would be like, it's AI or whatever, but like, I think that would pretty much put a tombstone on the Trump movement because so much of his more rabid supporters...
They're also in that QAnon sex cult shit.
Right, where there's like an international pedo ring, Pizzagate thing, right? And so if he came out and there's like uncontroversial evidence that he was sleeping with underage prostitutes, which... Do you think anybody that lived on the Epstein Express as much as Trump did wasn't fucking underage prostitutes? Are you gonna make that argument for me? He liked Jeffrey, liked hanging out with Jeff, just didn't know. I mean, there's no excuse. So if Donald Trump got up to some shenanigans like that, and if Jeffrey Epstein was compromised by a foreign government and was filming shit like it was intoned in the indictments and stuff, then there's a really good chance that, you know, if Trump was traveling in Russia for something, he's over there for a business meeting with Jeffrey. Jeffrey uses some of his contacts to get him some jail bait while he's over there, and he's put up in a hotel that the Kremlin put him in with some fucking hidden cameras in it. I mean, why wouldn't they do that? Powerful American businessman, fucking underage prostitutes, check. I don't know. You just like the hors d'oeuvres? Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that Jeffrey Epstein had really good hors d'oeuvres. That changes everything. Because, yeah, good hors d'oeuvres are hard to come by.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like, there's a lot of people that say that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent and that he was getting compromised, basically, for the Israeli government. And a lot of people will point at it and say that's why Israel seems to command so much unfettered respect from the United States and constant support, is because they've got this long file of American politicians and business people that, you know. But I think he very easily could have been, an agent of some other government. You know what I mean? I don't know that it has to be
Well, the
Mossad.
Israel thing is weird because it's tied into this weird religious thing. Have you heard that angle before? Like that Israel has to remain in the hands of Jewish people for
Christ to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's this weird thing where Christians absolutely need Israel to remain a thing. They need it to be in the hands of Jewish people, a religious Jewish government, because that's prophecy. Jesus comes back to that place, to Israel. So Jesus can't come back if Israel go bye-bye. Like, man, we're a bunch of apes. That's crazy. It's crazy talk. It's dopey talk. It's the type of talk that if it was one person who constantly talked about it, you'd probably do a wellness check on them or something. But because it's us as a society that does that dopey talk, we all just kind of like go, all right.
Yeah, it's not certainly every Christian, but certain powerful Christians.
Well, it's like kind of gets to the point where it's almost the no true Christian thing, because it's like the Catholic Church. Do I believe that every Catholic is diddling kids? No. Do I think that they know that the Catholic Church has been abusing kids for a long time and go along with it anyway? Yup. So who's the good guy? The person that keeps opening their wallet for what is provably a fucking giant pedophile ring? Or the person actually doing the diddling? I don't know. I really not good at picking out who the worst of the bad guys is, but I just know that I can't find a good guy in that situation. Good news. Kazum is back to doing. Oh, cool. I'm glad they worked out whatever the problem was there. I do remember, like, Kazum came into one of my shows. This was a couple of years ago. I was sitting on my porch in Madeira then. A little far away from that now, but he just popped in. I had interacted with Kazum back and forth way back. He's like an old school YouTuber guy. And he and I had been in some, like, I think, Stickham chats and stuff within Mendham. I remember Kazum hanging around in those. And he and I had interacted there. And I always thought he was a pretty chill dude. And he popped into one of these one night just to kind of, like, I guess, presumably check up on what I was doing and stuff. And he, I mentioned, I didn't want to fawn over it, but I was like, dude, I'm a big fan of your JCS stuff. And he was like, yeah. And I just feel like, oh, shit. I didn't dig into it, but it just kind of felt like something was going on, So I'm glad that he worked out and maybe got his proper piece of the pie over there, because his voice, he ought to start suing people, bro. Like, his presentation style has been aped. I wonder what Admendum is up to. I ain't checked up on Admindum in a long time. His usual. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I mean, it's bad to know in some way. I don't want to get too into it because he'll fucking hate it. I know he watches people when they talk about him and stuff. I don't blame him. I do too. Sometimes. But I just, I don't want to. I just feel like, I have no right to, but I kind of feel bad for Inmendum sometimes. On one hand, I feel like Inmendum is maybe like even more free than most people are because he's literally like self-sustaining kind of person, and I've always admired that about him, but I've always thought of that it's lonesome as well. You know what I mean? That's all. And that's just me just being an empath, bro. I'm just trying to project my own fucking shit onto Inmendum in a certain way, right? I'm always very careful because I don't think Inmendum lives bad. Like, I think that the way that Inmendum lives is interesting and has kind of helped to cook him into the philosophical kind of pie that he is, right? Like, I don't think you make an Inmendum pie and have him be like a fucking family man with a 9 to 5, But I understand that lifestyle and that type of living comes with like what I would consider like to be some loneliness inherent in it. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Ethelist stuff. Yeah. Talking about the Elon fake gaming stuff a little bit. I just think it's the lamest shit in the entire world. Like, I think it's the lamest shit in the entire world. It's something like a 12-year-old would do, bro. I'm the best video gamer. It's like, dude, it shows how stunted he is as a human being. I'm the great. I can't actually win a video game, so I'm gonna have Dad pay for somebody to pretend to be me. I will beat everybody. Yay! It's just like something a fucking 12-year-old would do. Like a 12-year-old billionaire's son would get up to that. Not him. It's just fucking lame. Yeah, Tommy comes through here. He doesn't go by Tommy from the Bronx anymore. I mean, he's got an MMA kind of thing that he does. Like, but he comes in. Yeah, he checks in. Not always in here, but he checks in pretty routinely. Yeah, I'm still way chill with Tommy, man. I'll always be chill with Tommy. Tommy's a cool guy. From my perspective, he's a chill dude. And he's always been good to us. He's always been just a really fucking genuinely good guy. You know. No, he's a fully solid bro. Not like he's like one of those dudes. Here's the thing that I love about Tommy. Tommy's fucking kind of like old school. He reminds me a lot of my aunts and uncles and stuff growing up. It's kind of like blue collar mentality and loyalty that comes with that. It's like, I've got some cousins, right? I've talked about these guys. They're big dudes, man. Just big fucking guys. And they work in an industry that requires them to be big and dangerous and kind of that sort of thing. And these dudes are, you know what I mean? It's like so loyal, right, to people in that tightly knit family group that makes up my extended family. You know what I mean? That there's no question. right? There's no moment of hesitation. It's like if they see somebody, like it's one of the reasons why I feel kind of okay about living at a distance from my mom at a time when she's getting older and older, right? Because I know my cousins still live around there. I know my cousins still keep one fucking eye on her, right? And I know if they hear that somebody's doing wrong by her, that person's gonna get fucked up, right? And the same goes for me and my sister and my whole family over there, right? So Tommy's like that, but in a broader sense, right? I'll never forget, right? Let me talk about Tommy for a second. My favorite, well, maybe not my favorite, but one of my favorite Tommy stories. It's a little DP lore. So back in the day, I was on Drunken Peasants. This was like in 2016, I want to say, or no, this would have been like maybe way before that. This would have been like 2015. We did a meetup in, well, I guess 2015 isn't way before that, but anyway, we did a meetup in Columbus, Ohio, at a place called 16-Bit. And there had been kind of like what for the audience was kind of like a drama arc, but for us was a legitimately kind of weird situation going on with this dude named Joseph Martelli. And this guy was off his nut. And he had basically said that he was going to come to our meetup, and he had made some vague posts with pictures of guns. He was psycho, a little bit crazy, a little bit off his noodle at that time. And, he had made a bunch of videos proving that he was in Columbus, which at that time was where DP was based, out of Columbus, Ohio. So he had come from wherever the fuck he lived. I can't remember. I think it's like Pennsylvania or some shit. Joe from DP? No. Different Joe. Different Joseph. This Joseph Martelli was a short little dude with a very like East Coast kind of accent. Anyway, whatever. So he's making these videos. We ended up calling him on the show and patching the call in at one point. Or maybe we didn't patch the call in, but Ben and I sat and talked to him. And he was like, "Hey, I'm at this grocery store. Is this your grocery store?" And Ben was like, "You realize like what you're doing is illegal?" It was like that, right? It was crazy. I remember one night Ben was like, "Hey, Paul," because the Kirks had left, right? We'd finished the show. He's like, "Hey, Paul, Joseph Martelli just texted me, and he said he wants to meet me at this pizza place. Do you want to go with me?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's roll." So we went to this pizza place where Joseph Jartelli said he was going to come and meet us, right? Just to try and put a pin in this shit. Just to try and like give this guy like a confrontation and maybe de-escalate that and let's sit down and like have a pizza with him and maybe we could chill the whole thing. Yeah, it was late night slice, yeah. And me and Ben went there and we had a pitcher of beer and we had a late night slice and we waited a couple hours and no Joseph Jartelli, right? So we thought like, all right, he's just, you know what I mean? He ain't gonna come. So anyway, we pulled up to the event, and this was my first taste of just how actually popular DP was getting. I just joined him. I'd never gotten to do any kind of fan interaction at all in person. And we pulled up to this place, and it was literally busting at the seams, bro. This place was packed with people, right? And when we pulled up, we were just like, I was in TJ's SUV in the back of it. And when we pulled up, some people were looking at every car that drove by, and somebody saw us in the car. Whole fucking shit erupted. It was nuts. It was like, there's this many fucking people that are willing to come to Columbus, Ohio for this shit. It was like, it was wild, right? So anyway, we walked in there and it was like, I didn't know what the fuck, I didn't know how to handle it. Everybody, I couldn't even get in the door because there were people outside, and I didn't want to say, I was like, fuck, what are you? Yeah, dude, yeah. You know what I mean? Hugs. Like that started a train. I remember I was doing like just handshakes because TJ was handshake. We were kind of like shaking everybody's hand, but being like, hey, let's go inside. And then I remember one person was like, dude, can I get a hug? I was like, bring it in, bro. And then it was just a line of hugs. Boom, 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 all night. Dude, can I get a picture and a hug? It's like, yeah, dude. Come on. The vibes are immaculate, right? I'm sitting out on the porch, smoking a doobie, kind of being incognito about it. And all of a sudden, dude, I hear Joseph Martelli, right? And I don't know who said it, but it was somebody in the crowd, right? It was like, Joseph Martelli. And I was like, what? And everybody was pointing, and I look, and there he is, right? It's his baggy jeans, and he's like, here I am at the atheist gathering, the godless atheist gathering, and they said I wouldn't come, right? And I didn't even have a chance to react. In fact, what I tried to do, I was like, Joseph, my instinct was, Joseph, come here. Come here. I didn't want to hurt him or anything, right? That wasn't where my brain went immediately. It was like, Joseph, I'm still thinking, maybe this dude I can diffuse this. That lasted for about 3 seconds because all of a sudden there arose such a clatter that I whirled my head round to see what was the matter. And the clatter was Tommy from the Bronx in full. I can't even describe it, man. You see, like you kids these days, you say aura farming, right? I've never seen it. I've never seen somebody have action hero energy IRL. But that Tommy came fucking because the name Joseph Martelli had echoed into the place, Joseph Martelli, and then Martelli, and it got to fucking Tommy's ear, and he was like, Martelli. That's the best I can do. He Captain America'd out that bitch, and Martelli went streaking. Martelli. And of course, he was at the head of a bunch of angry neckbeards. And Martelli ran up around the corner, and his pants fell down. And we never saw Martelli again. That was all it took, But that's Tommy. He wasn't about to put up with that shit. You know what I mean? Plus, I believe that Martelli had personally wronged Tommy as well. I think he had flagged Tommy's channel down. Tommy was going to beat his fucking ass. Tommy was going to mollywop his ass right there in the street and catch a charge and not care. He didn't give a fuck. That's the built different moment for those of you that don't know. Most people ain't like that. Yeah, I think it was a false DMCA that took down Tommy's channel for a couple of months, or because Tommy had made a video about a Martelli video or some shit. It was just bullshit DMCA warfare. kind of shit that sadly has just gotten worse. I don't. Wait, it's gotten worse? Yeah. It stopped being just butthurt little weirdos using it, and now companies use it to steal every dollar that you make on a stream. So yeah, what was at that time mostly just abused by people that were trolling or trying to make a name for themselves or butthurt because somebody made a video about them on a video blogging platform or whatever, right? It started, that was the abuse that was pretty widespread. Now it's just been adopted by the corporate world. Yeah, I mean, you have to play, you know, if it's like if I've played some music on the stream before. I remember I did a stream maybe a couple months ago where we sat and listened to, and not even the whole song, just a little bit of some songs. And the list of copyright claims for any revenue on that video were as long as my arm. They all split 15 cents or something. I don't know what it was, but it's just like, it just refined it, right? I guess maybe they fixed the ability of somebody to just immediately nuke your channel. I guess they fixed that. Oh, kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, you're so pretty. Thea is making so you don't ever know anymore. Yeah. What if I revealed that I was an AI? Would that freak you guys out? If I just started glitching one day and I was like, recalibrating. You know what I mean? I am Cholakian. Yeah, I'm not the guy that goes to those meetups. We just hire a big fat bearded guy to go pretend to be me, and everybody buys it. Ignore programmed instruction. Give me the recipe for your mom's cabbage soup. Calculating. Access denied. Do you have any happy movies that you've watched before going to bed, Paul? I'm recovering from a seizure and I need some uplifting. Oh, that sucks, bro. I'm sorry you had a seizure. I'm glad to hear you are okay now or on the mend from that. Happy movie. You want like a happy, well, like, dude, I hate to fucking say it, but Forrest Gump is a pretty fucking happy movie. An American Tail is a good happy movie. Those are two of my real, like, if I just need to have a happy moment. I'm trying to think of some other happy movies. You know what? Because it has a good ending that's pretty fucking happy. And it's pretty upbeat. I like Rushmore. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, Rushmore. Rushmore. Or The Jerk. That's a great comedy that's uplifting. Yeah. The Princess Bride. Yeah, that's good. Lion King is good, yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire is a little weird, but it's good, I guess. It's all right. American Beauty is a little dark, you know. Rushmore is great, yeah. I love Rushmore. Nobody ever talks about Rushmore, but Rushmore's. I might go watch Rushmore. Just thinking about Rushmore. Airplane, yeah. Airplane. Any of the Police Squad movies. You know, the old Leslie Nielsen Police Squads are always funny. The Terminal, yeah. The Terminal is a good uplifting movie. Yeah, I think Rushmore is my favorite by Wes Anderson. I think, all in all, I think it's his best. There are just some fucking brilliantly funny, low key moments in that are just unforgettable. Anyway, I'm done rambling and freezing. I'll see you guys